Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Pedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com. With your hosts, Diana Mike, Bruce Barker, and Scott Lucky Hudson. And here we go. Welcome to Speed Scene Live. I would be that Bruce Barker guy. Also in the house, and it is a packed one, by the way. Luckily not hermetically sealed, is Diana Mike.
Welcome.
And look at that, Scott Lucky Hudson.
I'm here, I'm ready to go.
Oh, man, ready to go is our byword. It's our, our second name, our middle name. Hey, here's some footage while we talk about what's coming up on the show tonight. March Meet is coming up, not on the show tonight. That's coming up at Famoso, the 7th of March through the 10th. You can buy your spectator tickets online right now. I know, it's soon, but you can get them now so you don't miss out at TheFoat.com. Don't wait in line. Don't be a chump. Buy your tickets now. Just walk right in. Come see us, by the way, at the March Meet at the Curry Rear Ends Hedman Hustler Headers booth. Coming up on Speed Scene Live TV tonight. Just want to let you know, by the way, the GoPro camera marches into the 21st century. We talked a bit about that last week. I'll flash the business card in a while just to make sure you remember this name. Vector mount. All right, on with the show.
That's right. You're going to see us using that mount in the future. Now, coming up, December 29th at the City of Industry, the Monster Energy World Speedway Invitational with some of the best riders in the world. That's going to be at the City of Industry Speedway track. And next week, we are going to have all kinds of incredible riders live in studio. We're going to have riders from Europe. We're going to have riders from Southern California. We're going to have all kinds of great people. So tune in next week with me and Donnie Couch in the world's best speedway riders.
Nice.
We also want to let you know that tonight on the show, we're going to have Bryant Layton, and he is going to have B.J. Baldwin. He's the winner of that Baja 1000. That's the Bryant Layton Show. It's going to be put on by PRP Seat and Belts. That's the off-road report. He's going to be talking all about the Baja race with BJ. Hey, Bob, what do we got going on tonight?
Well, we've got Alex here, and she drives a Magnum, so we're going to talk about the history of the Dodge Magnum.
I drive a Dodge Magnum,
Yes,
so am I
do.
history too?
No, you're current technology.
Well, you're going to be history if you don't introduce our guest. So why don't you bring her onto the show?
Well, Lucky, she's sitting right next to you. Why don't you introduce her?
Well, I would like to welcome to Speed Scene Live Alex, the car girl. Alex, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. We're got a lot of great stuff to talk about. In fact, we had some video of your car racing a bright red Dodge Magnum wagon. Now, let's start off with, why a Dodge Magnum?
Well, to be honest, it's what we had. My business partner and crew chief Richard and I, we started racing about 2 years ago and really quickly realized how awesome of a car it was. It does everything. It wins races, it tows.
Now, is this the Magnum version? The Magnum motor, or the Hemi motor?
Yes, it's the Hemi. It's the 6.1-liter Hemi, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, what year is this car?
It's 2007.
Okay. And how long have you had it? Did you get it new?
Yes.
Okay. And because when I bought my Magnum, they didn't have that beautiful red color. Is that a stock color?
Yeah, it comes only with the SRT. Mm-hmm. So
SRT, is that the all-wheel drive?
No, it's not. It's the specialized. It stands for Sport and Racing Team.
Oh, okay.
Now let's talk about performance. In fact, right there we just saw your car run high 11s. But I know that just a short time ago, your car, when you were racing, it was a 13-second car. In fact, right here, Bruce has a in-car camera shot of you, and this is the first time I think the car ever went in the 11s.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's great. I don't know if we'll be able to hear it, but Bruce, if you can, bring the audio up towards the end of the track.
It gets funny.
You are having some fun in this car, I'll tell you. And apparently you weren't expecting it to go that fast.
I had no idea. Literally, we went to the track that day. It was a cool day at Fontana, and we were expecting the car to go, 1190 maybe. And
Hopefully.
It went 1177 the first pass. We didn't expect to get 3/10 into the 11s. I was shocked. I didn't think he was reading my time at the end. And I could feel at the launch how awesome it was. I knew at 60 foot it awesome.
It sounds like you could really tell a difference in the performance.
Oh yeah. This is a popular video because of my
drag racing.
Yeah, you can tell, right?
Now, I noticed that are you listening to the PA?
77?
Yes.
No.
I've got the radio on. I turn it up after the run.
So you're monitoring the tower.
Yes.
Now, I've got people on thefote.com sending me questions already, and
Okay.
they love your car. They'd like to know how long you've been racing.
Just 2 years. I just finished my second season racing in West Coast Hot Rod, PSCA, and NHRA Summit.
How'd you do in the PSCA?
I made runner-up in the championship, actually.
Great.
It was quite amazing. It was
Congratulations.
an amazing season, yeah. Thank you.
Well, in West Coast Hot Rod, I think you won a race there.
Yes, in August of 2011, we raced the Shootout at Sundown, it was called, and it was just, everything was going our way that day. The car was dialable, my crew chief was on his game, and I was cutting some solid lights, and we just went round after round and made it to the final, the very first final I ever made it to, and ended up winning the race. It was an awesome day. It was
Isn't that a great
unbelievable.
feeling? Great feeling to win.
I didn't expect it
Love
to feel
it.
so good.
Dynamite, you've been there. You've been in the final. You got the
Sure.
win. You see your win light come on
yeah.
as you cross the stripe.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
And the best part is most of the cars you're racing against are all guys, right?
Yes.
Isn't that the best part?
And they are almost always nervous to race me. They always get out of the car and go, they hate it. I don't know. I don't really get it.
Well, now when you started driving the car, that was a 13-second car.
Yes.
So you in 1 year, you bumped it up to 11 seconds.
Yeah, the car, when we first started racing it, it really was stock. We had a cold air intake, a catback exhaust, and then, we started with nitrous. We had a 50 shot of nitrous on it for a little while, and then we upgraded the axles to keep the rear end of the car safe. Mm-hmm. And then we went from nitrous to a Magnuson supercharger, and literally that was 100 horsepower at the wheel. It was just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got now. What kind of suspension modifications have you made to keep that traction going?
The suspension is pretty much stock. Right now we've got, our best shot at traction is our Mickey Thompson tires on the rear. They are excellent drag radials. We drive them to and from the track, and then we, do a nice big burnout to get them cleaned off for racing.
So what did you do as far as power? Now, I know that you recently put a set of the Hedman long tube headers on there, and I know they make a big difference.
Yes. When we put the headers on, we were absolutely flabbergasted at how much power they made. We had a pretty free-flowing exhaust before the headers, but after we put the headers on, we gained 40 horsepower.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. Richard was shocked, my crew chief, at how much power we really gained. It was like 2/10 of the track.
Maybe I need to get some of those on my
Yes, I
Magnum.
agree.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I bet you I'd get way better gas mileage.
Absolutely.
And also, one of the aspects about those headers is they're completely stainless steel from the flange all the way to the end. So those headers are going to last the life of the
Forever.
car.
Yes.
Now, are those smog legal too?
Well, they do have shorties that are.
Okay.
Or not quite, but
Yeah.
it's a very street strip car.
Okay.
It's only illegal if you get caught, Bob.
Yeah, well, right now, CHP
Believe
is
it or-
listening. And,
Believe it or not, I do not have a speeding ticket.
No.
I've never had a speeding ticket. I'm very
they got to
good
catch
at
you first.
Yeah,
That's
there is
true.
that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk to one of the leading sponsorship and public relationship experts in probably the world, Ernie Saxton. We're going to talk to him in a couple of minutes. But tell us a little bit about some of the companies that sponsor your racing, Alex.
Well, first off, obviously Hedman Headers. They're an awesome company, really, really awesome people to work with. I actually just was in their booth for SEMA signing autographs for them, which was a really cool experience. I also want to talk about this company called Easy Elegance Car Care Products. They're a startup company. I was brought on board with them about a year ago, and they sell, polishes, waxes for making your car look excellent. One of their star products is the Quick Detailer, and it's really, really awesome for racers because it takes off track goo, makes your car look really nice and shiny. But
is that the uniform you have to wear when you're applying it?
Oh my gosh! How did you guys get that picture? That's yes.
If it's on the internet, it's ours.
You can tell that I enjoy detailing. It's something that we do on a Friday night instead of going out.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Not every Friday, but
not every Friday. Okay. I don't think I could do that. I can't wear a tank top like that.
Now, yeah, thank goodness. Now, what's the website for the Easy Elegance?
It's www.easyeleganceusa.com.
Is that easy, the letters easy?
No, it's easy, the word spelled out.
Okay, then.
EASY, yes.
Well, let's go to the phones. Dynamite, please bring our guest on, please.
Let's go to line 1 and welcome Ernie Saxton. Ernie, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
My pleasure. I enjoyed listening to the young lady there. She seems to have her act together regarding sponsorship.
Well, Ernie, first off, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on this show. I've read your columns in National Dragster for years and years, and I've listened to every single thing you said. And it's really been incredibly helpful to me. So that means a lot. And, I think this young lady is on the right path. She's doing all the proper steps to try to further her career, and hopefully someday she'll be in the level of a professional drag racer.
Well, she presents herself well. She speaks well, talks about the sponsors well. So that's all very important. So if she keeps doing that, she's quite a few steps ahead of many out there.
Well, thank you.
Well, Ernie, we want to thank you for calling in. Of course, your website is SaxtonSponsorMarket.com, and I'm sure Bruce will have that on the screen shortly. But in addition to your website, you also have a newsletter, and you do press releases, and you've been instrumental in helping a lot of people with their careers and sponsors. How do you approach this when you get a new person like somebody like Alex?
Well, it's basically the first thing that we do is put together a questionnaire so that I learn all the things I can about the background, everything I want to know about them now, and what they're planning. I like racers to try to give me a 3 to 5 year plan so we can lay out a plan for how we're going to approach it. I do something different than other people that are out there looking for sponsorship do. I normally try to sell 3-year deals, or at least 2 years and an option year, so it makes it a little more difficult to sell the deal, but in the long run it pays much greater rewards. So it's like I said, just a little more difficult, but certainly the rewards are greater, and I like to do a few things that some racers don't like to do, which one of them is putting logos on haulers, and I get all kinds of excuses why that can't happen. But I think the hauler, the decals, the logos on the hauler, in many cases are more important than the race car.
Well, that's something that's going down the freeway. It's generating impressions by the hundreds of thousands. For example, a guy like me that crosses the country numerous times a year.
It's a moving billboard, Lucky.
It is, and that's important to companies. They all want to see their, not only a return on impressions, but they want to see, or a return on investment, but they want to see a lot of impressions. They want a lot of people to see their name. Isn't that really what the companies are all about?
I think in the long run, that's a major part of it. But also, you'd be surprised to find out there's a lot of companies out there that are not really looking for that kind of exposure. A lot of them are looking to use the sponsorship for entertainment of potential customers, entertainment of employees, to use it for sweepstakes. There's so many different things that you have to do, and that's why it's important when a racer is out looking for sponsorship to be able to sit down and talk to the potential sponsor in advance before even putting a proposal together. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can really put together an intelligent proposal unless you have some idea of how the sponsor is going to market, how they're advertising, how they're promoting, and also important if they have the money to spend.
I agree with that, Ernie. What I do is I call that a wish list. Whenever I meet with my potential clients, I always ask them what's on their wish list. And, I take really good notes and basically what is it exactly they're looking for. And then, my objective is to try to fulfill that wish list. So with any business, whether it be sponsorship or what have you, you always want to get that potential wish list fulfilled.
Well, and too many racers that I talk to send out these mass-produced proposals that, first of all, are not directed to anybody in particular, so oftentimes that proposal gets the seat of the bottom of a trash can very quickly. If you're going to send out mass proposals, at least they should be directed to somebody, the director of marketing, the director of advertising, somebody like that. And you only have to call up the companies, and most of the people that answer the phones will be glad to fill you in with names of those various people. So you got to do a little homework. You got to do a little research, and if you do all that, then the rewards will come your way.
Now, Ernie, you've had a newsletter that's been going around for over 28 years, and you've long ago proved the importance of social media, even before social media was a buzzword. So now that racers have all these tools that have Facebook and Twitter and emails, is that stuff that they should be using to their advantage?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I always tell people in seminars and when I talk to different racers, I think it's important for everybody to have a website. I think that's a great marketing tool. However, if you're not going to spend the time and keep it updated, then you're better off without a website at all. There's nothing worse than have somebody from a company that you're asking to sponsor you to go to your website and find out you're still showing information from last season or the beginning of this season, and it's outdated. And that pretty much tells a company that you're really not serious about your sponsorship, your marketing, and your public relations efforts.
Now, I talk to racers all the time that ask me, Lucky, you've got sponsors and you're racing all the time. How do I do that? And one of the first things I always ask people is, are you really serious? Because 3/4 of these racers that talk to me, they're really not that serious. Yeah, they'd love to get money, but they don't want to do work. And I said, there's a lot of work involved.
Well, it is. There is a great deal of work, but like I said, the rewards are there. If you don't have the time to do it yourself and do it in the right way, then you either hire somebody or you get somebody. You're bound to have somebody that's on your team that's a friend or somebody that would be willing to do a lot of this work for you and take that load off your shoulders so you can dedicate yourself to your racing program. But I'm sure you could find somebody, and I know when I travel around, I find a lot of people that are working, let's say, not for donations, but are like volunteers, and they'll go out there and help their favorite racer to secure sponsorship, do the PR work. The only thing I suggest is make sure it's somebody that can say 3 words in a row without stuttering.
Now, Ernie, we got a young lady here, Alex, and she's articulate. She's attractive. How's this? This is the part where I'm building you up, Alex.
Thank you.
She can drive a car. She's won in her car, and she's not afraid to get out and work on the car and do things that need to be done. Although she does have a tendency to spend a lot of time detailing.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Well, it's got to look pretty, Lucky. Come on.
Well,
the car too.
She has a.
That only happens on Fridays, I heard.
That's exactly, yes, Friday nights. And she has a great website that she updates all the time with all kinds of information. It seems like she's doing everything just right. And now she's a young lady, so she's got a lot of years ahead of her. If she just keeps doing what she's doing, most likely she would be successful. But she could be even more successful or become successful quicker with somebody like you that can kind of help her, guide her along.
Well, I'm out there, and I'm easy to contact, and I'm easy to work with, and I'm not that expensive to work with, and certainly with almost 50 years of experience, I think that I probably can add something to whatever she's doing.
So people can go to SaxtonSponsorMarket.com website up right now, and they can contact you there. They can get your phone number, your email, They can talk to you, and if somebody comes to you and they don't really seem serious, will you tell them the truth? Or you know,
one of the things that anybody that knows me, I have people that ask me to review their proposals. I do that service. I spend time with people on the phone trying to help them, and one of the things you'll find about me is I'm pretty straightforward. If you don't want me to answer the question honestly, then don't ask me the question, because sometimes I think I probably hurt some people's feelings, but I'd rather have my feelings hurt than go off and not be doing it the correct way. I had a friend of mine named Chris Economaki who used to teach me things many years ago about doing PR and how to write and different things. And he, as many people know, he passed away recently. But there was a man that, it's always nice to have some sort of mentor out there that you can fall back on.
That is, and I think, Ernie, for a lot of people, you are the mentor. In fact, I was reading a quote by Carl Fredrickson. He's the editor of Speedway Illustrated magazine that said, "You can't talk Indy without mentioning Foyt, and you can't talk sponsorship without mentioning Ernie Saxton." So,
wow, what a compliment!
Yeah. You're the real deal.
Yes, I know, and after I saw that, I had to come in my house through the garage door because my head wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, Ernie, thank you so much for talking to us. We appreciate you taking the time, and we want to let racers know that if you really want to do it, you can do it. It's doable. Even in a tough economy, there's a lot of companies out there that are looking for racers to help them help their company. So Ernie's a guy that can help you do it, and he's the real deal. And people trust him, people rely on him, and people get results. So, Ernie, thank you so much for talking to us here on Speed Scene Live TV.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you, Ernie.
Merry Christmas.
Take care.
Well, Alex, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk to you some more. We'll do Hot Rod Bob in the Dodge Magnum, and we've also got Bryant Layton coming up with the off-road report.
I'm Barry White from Barry's Speed Shop. When I'm not building hot rods and muscle cars, I'm watching Speed Scene Live.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at currieenterprises.com.
Whether you have a hot rod that needs more hustle or a muscle car that needs more muscle, if it's more power you want, Hedman has it. Since 1954, Hedman headers have worked harder, fit better, and lasted longer than the new guys on the block. In fact, Hedman headers are so tough, they're guaranteed for life. So log on to Hedman.com tonight, because if it's more power you want, Hedman has it.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV with your hosts, Diana Mike, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, the Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton, and the Great American Auto Scene with Bob Beck.
Oh, yeah, and it's another Tuesday night. You're live with Diana Mike in studio. We've got Scott Lucky Hudson to my left. We've got Alex Cargirl to his left, and Bob To her left, Bruce back there handling all the controls. Bruce, you did good on the cameras. Switch, change-a-roo. We don't have to spank you tonight, do we?
Oh, he was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I really blew it this time, Bob. I blew it.
See what happened when you do
Look at
things
Bob
right?
turned green over the whole damn thing.
Oh, no, not green again.
Well,
Hey, Alex, we were talking earlier about the SRT. What does that SRT stand for?
Street and racing.
Street and racing.
Okay.
So is my RT just racing team?
I wonder.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Road and track or something.
Really tame?
Really
It's not tame. It's got a hammock.
Radical
Come
tires?
on.
Right turn.
Right there.
I'm not into that NASCAR.
Well, Bob,
Yes.
we've been talking about Alex and her Dodge Magnum.
We have.
Give us a little more info about the Magnums.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Beck, and you've got GAAS here on Speed Scene Live. The Dodge Magnum is not something new, although you may think so. You may think it came out in 2005 with the Magnum wagon, but that was actually the rebirth of the Magnum. The Magnum first came out in 1978, and it was something to try and dress up the stodgy Dodge Charger and the Chrysler Cordoba with the Corinthian seats.
I like what they've done to my car.
You do, yeah. Well, they put flip-up headlights or covers on the headlights. They changed the grille. They elongated it just a little bit, put little fender flares, the Coke bottle-style fender flares on it, and its first appearance was actually in stock car racing, and Richard Petty was the man who brought that car to light. The biggest problem they had, and I spoke to Richard back in those days, was that body style, though it looked great, it lifted at speed.
Did it really? Because
So
you're right, it does look great.
It looks great, but it had a problem with aerodynamics, and they actually got light. They would start to lift. At that time, they weren't allowed to use spoilers or aerodynamic devices, so his years with that Magnum, they did not go quite so well, and you'll know after 2 years of running the Magnums, Kyle being the last to run a Magnum, they switched to Generous Motors products.
Well, what do you know? You know, to me, the grill on these looks a bit like that Cord from the 30s that has the...
Yeah.
And plus, I'm thinking, wasn't there such a thing at about the same time called the Murata, a Dodge Murata that had the same sort of slant nose and covered
that
headlights?
came out a little bit later, and that actually squared off the body, and they got back from this. This was to try to dress up the sagging sails of the Charger.
And there was no putting lead in the trunk or anywhere.
Well,
you couldn't get away with that kind of stuff.
Chrysler made this a unibody car, so when they actually raced in stock car, they had a full perimeter frame. But the problem they had was just the aerodynamics were not quite right, but that was a marketing tool, and we've got some photos coming up about with Richard Petty's car and Kyle's car and a few others that ran the ovals. This one being, I believe, Kyle's car.
Man, well, it was nice, too. You could actually get this thing with T-tops. I can't believe it.
It came with T-tops. It came with a sunroof. You had bucket seats. You had a bench seat. You had velour interiors. You even had Corinthian leather.
Rich Corinthian
leather. But it was not called that because, you know, the Corinthian leather part that Ricardo Montalban talked about was the Chrysler. It was the Cordoba.
Oh, yeah, the Chrysler Cordoba.
Now, here's Richard Petty's version of it. You can see they got the Coke bottle-style flares. They used the solid roof, obviously, on the stock cars. Something about T-tops flying off at speed that didn't work too well.
Oh, you think? Now, it's interesting, the whole roof line there, especially with the quarter window in the back and the sort of a slotted look there. It looks a bit different than the production model. But
you know, and you'd think that this car would do well, because at that point in time, GM was running the Monte Carlos and the big Pontiacs of that era, the Grand Prix. There was a couple of them out there.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the roof line did not work.
That is odd.
And at the time I was with Stock Car Magazine, and we were talking to Richard at Riverside.
Hey,
what kind of Dodge? This is Alex's Dodge.
I'm sure we'll see more of that soon too.
How about that, Alex? You made the cut with all Richard Petty and all the NASCAR people.
We know where to find those pictures. This is a buddy of mine's Magnum. He loves flames, so hot rod ingenuity brings it right into it. In 2005, Chrysler came out with a new Magnum wagon. Now the old Magnum that we showed earlier, they were available with 3 different engines. You had a 318 2-barrel in every place but California. Then you had a 318 with a 4-barrel, which was kind of unique for California considering the emission systems, but they used a 360 intake manifold on it, which didn't match the ports at all, but was good for another 30 horsepower.
There you go.
They had the 360s and the 400s. Now, on the sport version of the Magnum, you got front and rear sway bars and 7-inch wheels. Now, that went away after 2 years. 78, 79 was the Dodge Magnum, the original Dodge Magnum. Now, the Magnum name stuck with the Chrysler V8 engines, but then in 2005, they came out with one of the sportiest wagons ever around, and it was geared to the performance and sporty clientele that wanted or needed something other than a mommy van. But they needed to haul things. The Dodge Magnum came out, and with the Hemi, the 5.7 originally, then the 6.1 later on, these are definitely powerhouses, and Alex, you proved that running 11-second ETs. Now they have the SRT 8 version of it. They've got your basic runners with the V6s, and then the V6s put out, 250 horsepower. In some states, the 190 is the basic motor. You get 340 with the 5.7 Hemi, and the SRT8 has 425 horsepower right off the showroom floor. So now you move up from there, and you're running 11s. I'd estimate you're well over 500 horsepower on your Hemi.
Yes, it's about 625 at the crank rate.
625. Have you done internal mods on that motor?
No, it's a completely stock motor other than the supercharger.
That goes to show you how good Chrysler's technology is in that building of that motor. And you drive that car to the track.
Yes, we drive it to the track. We tow a trailer to and from Vegas, and actually we drove it here tonight.
I got to go out there. I haven't seen it since you raced at Irwindale last. So, and we see that car, you run, you cut excellent lights, you put a lot of guys on the trailer, and I mean guys.
Yes.
And, so that's you got going there. You're good on the reaction times. The Dodge handles great. Now, we were talking off camera a little while ago, and that Magnum has no suspension mods. You're running a stock factory suspension.
Yes. It really is an amazing car.
Yeah. Now, here's a shot of one that you might not want to see in your rearview mirror. It's the police version of the Magnum. Now, Chrysler has gone out of production on the Magnum. When they came out with the Charger, it kind of usurped the popularity of the Magnum, but it's basically a Magnum without the room in the back.
Bob, this car is amazing. You can have a police car, a race car. It can be a soccer mom car.
Yeah.
You had some great photos of ones that were lowered with big rims, and it's a completely versatile car. You can race it, you can drive it, you can put stuff in the back.
You remember when the car first came out and they had those commercials of the guy at the stoplight, and then the kind of little racer car pulls up next to it, and they're like, "What do you got in the back?
Oh yeah,
what do you got in that thing? Oh, I got a surfboard, and I got this, and I got that."
And he always had cool stuff like a surfboard, a guitar amp. A Marshall stack. It was never like, well, I gotta milk some eggs.
I got 10 soccer kids.
Some wagons are made to haul groceries, others are made to haul other stuff.
All other.
So but they're fun cars. They handle great. I had one as a rental car one time, and I was amazed at the platform on this. And it's based on a Mercedes.
Yes.
When Mercedes owned Chrysler for a short period of years, they based the chassis on the Magnum and the 300 Chrysler on the Mercedes sedans.
Look at this blue car. I mean, that looks cool. These cars when they're lowered with the big rims. That's a nice looking car. I mean, it's amazing.
And even Chip Foose has had his hand in modifying one of these. He had one of the customers or one of the people that got overhauled put their car in the dealership for just some minor repair, and they told them that they had wrecked the car. Well, she liked the front end of the Chrysler 300, and when she came back, they'd had the 300 put on there. And I believe this may even be the car that Chip Foose did with the Chrysler 300 nose, because the 300 and the Magnum are the same family.
Well, that's a lot of trouble just to change the nose. I mean, what's wrong with Chip?
Trouble's never been Foose's problems.
all for a show, hon.
It's
all for a show.
Now, Alex, you've been driving your car. You've been getting a lot of good response from people when you're in the staging lanes in the pits. What do people say about your car?
Well, they're always... The thing that shocks them the most is that I drive it. A lot of times, Richard and I are traveling somewhere together, and we're both out of the car, and I go to get in the driver's seat, and they're like, wait a minute, what? You're driving? And it just, they don't... It's very surprising to a lot of people until they get used to it. And in the staging lanes, especially at places like Irwindale, it gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of, people are always walking around looking at it and, really impressed that it can run such impressive times, and, it's such a heavy car.
It's a heavy car, but it does have a driver weight advantage.
I guess so. I mean, it's
is
not
that
that
because
big
Alex is tiny?
She is petite. Yes, definitely the word.
You're saying I drive the car and it's 3/10 slower. Is that what you're saying?
No, you stagger the weight so you get traction.
Oh,
that's how it works.
I'm not just lucky. I'm ballast.
You're ballast. Yes.
That's a good way to put it. Yes.
Well, let's let's kind of shift gears a little bit and take this Magnum and drive it off-road and head down to Mexico. And, well, you know, Alex, you haven't quite done the Baja 1000 yet in your Magnum. But
not quite.
Not intentionally.
That may be something to put on your list. But, Dynamite, I think you've got somebody that has done that.
I do. Well, let's go to line 1 and welcome Bryant Layton. Bryant, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hey, guys, I don't know how I'm supposed to concentrate when I got pictures of a girl in a bikini on a Magnum right now.
Yeah, you know, be a good boy. Well, let's also go to line 2 and welcome B.J. Baldwin. B.J., welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. Bryant, your guest has really had quite a month this month.
You know what? I'm going to quick little introduction on B.J. Baldwin. B.J. is now a 5-time trophy truck champion. He just won the Baja 1000. B.J., I've known you for about, 10 years, and everything that you do for the sport is absolutely amazing. Tell us a little bit about how it was to win the Baja 1000, your childhood dream.
Well, you know what? We've been trying to win the Baja 1000 for several years now. We've got 3 second-place finishes there, and it's always eluded us. But this year we kind of had a different program. I usually have a driver that gets in for me for about anywhere from 150 to 250 miles, and then I get back in. So I usually have somebody break me in the middle, and I get out and have a sandwich and get intelligence information, see where everybody's at, and then get back in and try and race to the finish. Most other trophy truck teams have 2 drivers that split the race equally. Some of them have 3, some of them have 4, up to 4 drivers. This year I took a different approach. Every time I've kind of had that program, something's gone, I've been leading and something's gone wrong or whatever, my truck just seems to work better and operate better with me driving it. So, you know, this year I took a lot more serious approach to it. I had a fitness program. I had a nutrition program written by Kit Cope. He's a nutritionist. He's a world kickboxing champion. He's a very, very smart guy when it comes to nutrition and fitness. And I decided that I was going to drive the whole way. So soloing it was probably just as big of an accomplishment as it was winning it, because it's very hard to solo the race. It's very hard to win the race, but to be able to solo the race at a competitive pace, at a competitive speed, and then win, that's just above and beyond my best racing career accomplishment.
Wow.
Now, you were the first man ever to solo the Baja 1000, and it beat all the other cars and trucks. Isn't that correct?
I'm the first guy. There's been other guys that have soloed it and beat every car and truck, but I'm actually the first guy in the race's history since 1969 to ever beat every car, every truck, every motorcycle, and every single vehicle entered.
Wow, you came in first overall?
Yeah, actually, I beat all the bikes, all the four-wheelers, everybody that entered.
Jeez. You know, I saw a movie once called, what is that, Brian? Dust to Glory, or...
Exactly.
Where they had the one guy on the motorcycle that soloed, and he looked like he had been hit by a truck by the end of the race. He was on the verge of hallucinating.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, you really fatigue really started to set in for me about 200 miles from the finish. We were going up a wash, and it was I went through probably 40 or 50 puddles of water that were 2 feet deep with freezing cold water. So that really took a lot. After going, 800-900 miles, and then 3 in the morning, it's 50 degrees out, and the water's 50, 60 degrees. The water really took a lot of energy out. But once I got close to the finish line, I started to wind down, like the last 5 miles, where it's just cruising on a paved section that's 60-mile-an-hour speed zone, just cruising up into the finish line. That's when fatigue really started to set in. I felt, just so tired, so sore, so beat to hell, and I was just so tired. I felt like I could almost see dead people just because I was like that, weirded out.
Yeah, driving at 60 miles an hour must have felt like you were crawling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, BJ, you've got the chance to be, pretty much as a monster athlete, you've got to do some really cool things, like, for example, at SEMA this year. Tell us a little bit about the display you did in the parking lot with Ken Block and everything like that.
Actually, I really pushed for that from Toyo. I didn't get a chance to do it at SEMA this year. I'm trying to work something out for next year. But that was actually at Monster Cup where they had the Monster Million. But that was cool. I mean, it was, I really look up to a guy like, like Ken, that has excellent car control, and he's been very, very successful in his career through winning races as well as becoming, a star through viral videos. So I really look up to him and all this stuff that he can do in a rally car. So it was cool. He's never really seen me drive, and it was cool to kind of, take his Gymkhana grid that he does in his 2,800-pound four-wheel drive car. That Von Gittin Jr., he was there as well, that he does with his, 2,900-pound Mustang, and then go do it in a 6,200-pound trophy truck with 800 horsepower with, 3 feet of travel in every corner. It's something that it's, the best way to describe it is just taking the lion out of the jungle. It's just something that it's not designed to do, and pavement is the very most difficult surface to drive a trophy truck on, just because of all the body roll and the instability. They're really the most unstable vehicles in the world to drive on pavement. They're fine in the dirt and going through bumps. They can do just amazing stuff, but driving on pavement is very difficult. So for me to go in there and to get the opportunity to put on a show, to show people my car control, to show Ken and Vaughn my car control, it was really cool, and I think the fans really liked it. About a week later, I got a call from my boss saying that he's interested in possibly working on something out next year in 2013 where I can go do demos with Ken at certain events. So it was pretty cool. Ken loved it. He was like, man, I can't believe the truck fit in the donut box. The donut box is like, It's got a barrel, and then it's got 3 orange K-rails on each side, and the rally car goes in there nice. Vaughn's car is a little bit tighter in there, the Mustang. And then my truck is just like, it's like rubbing the front tire on the barrel and then rubbing the back tail light on the K-rail. It's super tight. So it was cool. It was cool to have a little fun and show people my car control skills.
The Folk.com is a message board we use a lot here on Speed Scene Live, and right now your footage of you guys all ripping around out there at the Monster Cup starting to air. So I'm sure the message board's going to light up. What, with everything you've done, last time I hung out with you was out at Glen Helen when you guys went out to test the Robbie Gordon, Stadium Super Truck. You went out to Crandon, you won the first event ever in the Super Trucks. What are you gonna be racing that series also, or what are your plans?
You know what? My plans for 2013 are a rock solid desert racing. Two different series in desert racing. So I'm going to do Best in the Desert, full Best in the Desert series, full score series, and that's like in concrete. So I'm going to be campaigning both my trucks in those two series for this coming 2013 year. I have been wanting to get into short course so bad. I just haven't been able to put a program together, and it's very extensive for an initial startup investment to just go out there and start a team without any funding, and that's something that I'd like to wish we could have, but unfortunately nowadays when we have to go out racing, we have to have sponsors support us. So I've just been trying to find sponsorship and funding to do stuff like that. I have a lot of interest in Robbie's SST series. I think Robbie's one of the smartest guys in the sport. he's made a significant positive impact on off-road racing throughout his entire career. And I think what he's got going on with the SST trucks is going to be just a super, super cool thing. He's basically, you know, everybody's seen short course racing. Everybody's seen, you know, Core in its years. Everybody's, you know, seen various teams compete at Cranon and other short course tracks. But the kind of courses that he's putting together are really entertaining. One, because the jumps are bigger, the obstacles are bigger, and two, because he can race like 15, 20 trucks on a course much smaller than a football field.
Yeah, they're going to the Coliseum next year, like, what, 3 times or something?
Yeah, no, and he's got a great schedule, too. I've driven the trucks a couple times, obviously, and the best way to put it is they're like a smaller, more nimble version of a trophy truck. You know, there's certain things that a Pro 2 won't do. And I think from a suspension standpoint, SST truck is a lot more capable of absorbing a large impact or a large bump or a really huge jump than a Pro 2 or a Pro 4 is. I mean, they have more travel. They're valved a little bit better, and I just think it's going to be an awesome series to see. I hope I can scrape something together to be involved in it.
Now, BJ, I got a question for you. We've got a young lady in the studio here, Alex, the car girl. She's involved with drag racing. She's done like Bonneville-style racing at El Mirage, and she's involved in motorsports in a big way. And Alex, say hi to BJ, by the way.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And what kind of advice do you think a guy like you that's been around for years and years could give an upcoming racer, whether it's off-road or dirt or on-road with drag racing? Any words of wisdom that you could kind of let trickle down?
Well, I mean, if I could sum it up in one word, it's intelligence. You know, in every aspect of the motorsports. Just you know, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Cool. And I kind of always look at it, I always kind of say always have a white belt mentality, whereas keep your mind open to all kinds of different things and always open to learn. What kind of motorsports are you involved in right now?
Drag racing, quarter-mile bracket racing.
Okay, so that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, for me it was intelligence. For me it was mentorship. I mean, I raced for quite a while. I've lost over 100 desert races before I actually started, you know, doing very well. And you know, the key for me was the mentorship of Larry Raglan. And for those of you that don't know him, his list of career victories is long and distinguished. Yeah. Some of which include 5 Baja 500s, 5 Baja 1000s, championships, Pikes Peak. He's won twice. So for me, it was the mentorship that he offered to me, and you know, teaching me exactly you know, how to drive the truck when it's limping, how to save the equipment. Car control is a big thing between me and him. It's just stuff that you can learn from other people. Bryce Menzies, for those of you that know him, is another very well known off-road racer. A great driver and very intelligent driver. He had the mentorship of Rob McCachran, and Rob McCachran's also a very well-known name in off-road racing. To just be able to have a mentor that is, you know, has a long list of victories, and for them to be able to kind of pour all that information and pour all that intelligence, you know, into your program.
Yeah.
That's just totally priceless, because it took, you know, like Larry or Rob McCachran, it took them 20 years to learn what they know. And if they can teach you that stuff in a year or 2 years, that's just invaluable information.
Well, the great thing is she's doing good right now. I mean, she's actually out there winning races, running up. I mean, doing great in the series that she's racing. And so if she can find a mentor like you're suggesting, she'll be that much further ahead, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I lost a lot of races. I was getting my butt kicked everywhere, and the thing that really changed it for me was just the mentorship of somebody I viewed as a hero, a childhood hero. So having a mentor the key is having a mentor that's not a competitor, because you don't want to get misinformation. Well, that's like cancer. That's cancer for your race team, and you don't want that. Be careful who you listen to. It's always best to get information from anybody that you're not competing against, but is also a very intelligent racer.
Well, BJ, thanks a lot. We appreciate you calling in. By the way, great video. Whoever's doing your video is doing a fantastic job. Brian?
You know what? I was going to give a quick shout-out, actually, to Brian Moore over at Temp Digital. I talked to him earlier tonight and told him we're going to be using the video, and he's doing a great job in these videos.
Beautiful.
Very professional.
That guy's an artist, man. I got to tell you, we're going to see a lot of stuff from him. I'm sure he's done a lot of stuff, but his work is phenomenal, and that's coming from a guy that watches a lot of videos, so that means something.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of work with Brian Moore in the near future. We've only got a chance to do one video that was solid, like me in the desert, and then one that was shared between is for Monster Energy, shared between Kim Block and Vaughn Gittin and I. But
we aired both of those tonight, BJ.
Yeah, we used them both.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. We got to get back to the show, but we appreciate you calling. Enjoyed listening to you, BJ. It's a real honor to have you on the show.
And
Brian,
congratulations on your big win.
Congratulations,
Brian.
You. Thank you for
very much.
bringing such a great guest.
No problem. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you guys next year.
All right. That's right. The Speed Scene Live will do one more show next week. We're going to do our big Speedway show for the big International Invitational, and then the following Tuesday will be Christmas, and we will all be home with our families. We hope you guys will be too, and we will see you back here after next week. We'll see you the very first week in February. So we're already booking guests. We're already setting stuff up. Should be a great February, and we're looking forward to that. Alex, where are you going to be racing in the near future? Do you have any races set up yet?
Yeah, our first race of the year is the PSCA Record Breaker Nationals in Vegas, and that'll be the first
That's the
real
new
race
season,
of this,
right?
Yes,
Okay.
2013 season for PSCA. And we'll be racing a lot of our races this year in Vegas, so.
Now, is that blue tape on the back so you don't get rubber on the paint?
Yeah, that was in our early days.
That tape didn't come in red?
You know what? We found red tape after we used that blue tape, and now we use a little product called Road Wrap, which is like basically plastic saran wrap that you put on the car, and it protects it from all that track goo. It's really, really handy, actually.
That's so when you take it into the dealer for a warranty repair, they don't see the stuck rubber.
Right.
That wouldn't be a problem, would it, Bob?
No, not at all. I've never canceled the warranty over that.
Now, this video is an older video, and you don't have all the stickers. Now you've got all the Mickey Thompson and the Headman header stickers and all that stuff. Are those stickers on it as you drive it around on the street?
Yeah, they are. And down the freeway, we always get people turning their heads, and like today on the way here, there was somebody that was like, "That's not fair. I want to drive it." And everyone can always tell it's a race car, obviously, because it's pretty covered in decals. But really, all of those decals are because we've received, we're partners with those people. So it's not just stickers that we throw on the car.
Now, your license plate frame says, "Officer, I'm not speeding, I'm qualifying."
That's funny.
Yeah.
I wish. That's a good idea.
Steal that idea.
Yeah.
Now, Bruce, I don't know if you have an opportunity, if you have the time to do it, but if you go to Alex's website, alexthecargirl.com, there's down towards the bottom, there's some audio clips of Alex singing, and I played with the Star Spangled Banner. You sang it, was it PSCA?
Yeah, I sing the national anthem at most PSCA races, and I also sang the national anthem for a Monster Jam event at Anaheim Stadium this year. Oh, here it is.
Let's listen to a little bit.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the
Now that is good stuff. That is good stuff.
Multi-talented.
Yeah.
And that was a live take, right? Not a studio deal. That was you at a race singing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was actually the most nervous I've ever been singing was Anaheim Stadium last January for 40,000 people.
Of your closest friends.
I've never sang for that many people before, and it was a really fun experience. But I was pretty nervous for about 2 days
I can't believe
beforehand.
you sang at the stadium. That's just beyond cool.
That is awesome. And of course, now there's a lot of shots of you in a bikini here, and that's because in addition to racing and singing, you're also a model involved with cars, and you're also involved with Mopar Max, the website that's totally devoted to all types of Mopars.
Yeah, I got on board with Mopar Max about a year ago. I'm contributing editor, and Mopar Max is a really, really great magazine. It's dedicated just to Mopars. We cover drag racing as well as, classic cars, and we also have a lot of really awesome in-depth tech articles about all the products that we have on our car, as well as other cars that have tested our products, and it's a really, really great site for Mopar fans, as well as just regular car fans too.
Well, you sound like you're what's the word, a triple threat, or what's the expression? You got
Renaissance
the racing,
woman, something.
Yeah, you got the racing, the modeling, the singing. You've got so much going on for you. Where do you hope to see, just like Ernie Saxton said, where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope I'm making my way up to the pro ranks in either Pro Stock or Nitro Funny Car. I'm not sure which yet. I'll go in whatever path life takes me in, and I do all of these things to try and market myself and really make myself attractive to sponsors, and I really do believe that it's a two-way relationship. It's not just sponsors giving you something, it's a partnership, and I think that's really important in this business.
That's a good way to look at it, because that's the truth. I mean, they're giving you money so that you can go out and race, and they do expect something in return. It seems like you have the whole package to give them in return.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, you're getting your experience right now. You're racing. You're out there promoting yourself as a person, and you're getting the word out that you're out there.
And you're friends with Fast Jack.
Yeah,
there you go.
So,
he's such an awesome guy.
On a personal level, are you single? I mean, all the boys watching here tonight. Can they shoot you emails?
We'll post her phone number in just a moment.
I did get a couple comments from Bryant Layton when I picked up the phone. So let the boys out there know.
Well, I do my best to try to keep my personal life on the down low, because I feel like it's my only thing that I have that's not public.
But it's no longer available to do that. You're in the limelight, my dear.
Okay, well, I will say I'm seeing someone right now.
Okay, but I didn't see a ring on that finger, boys.
No,
just in case you're asking, there's no ring.
What's
on the
that
finger.
Beyonce song?
Put a ring on it.
Yep.
Call Alex at.
So for everybody else, hope does spring eternal then.
Yes, it does.
At least for the moment.
Yes, well, there's always that question I always have to ask our guests, especially since we receive so many emails asking certain questions like that. I need to go ahead and put it out there for everybody.
Of course.
You can correspond with her by email, but send pictures of your car.
Yeah.
Now, Alex,
and sponsorship promotion.
If there's a team out there or a car owner or somebody that's interested in maybe having you work with them, would you be available to somebody, like if they call you up and say, hey, I've got a pro stock car, I'm looking for a driver or whatever, is that something that you would be open to and possibly interested in?
Yeah, I'm always interested in talking with people. You know, I never turn down anything without more information. I would be a little hesitant to jump into, you know, a pro stock car just from, you know, having experienced bracket racing. I want to do it in a way that's, you know, taking the right steps to get up there. I don't want to just jump into something that I'm not ready for. Not to say that I wouldn't be, you know, eager to move up quickly, but, you know.
You took the Magnum to the salt flats?
That's not salt.
Oh.
It's actually a dry lake bed.
Okay, I'm like,
yeah, and you know what? We're still getting dust out of the car from that day.
Are you really? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a really fun day. That was before we started bracket racing, actually, and the car was completely stock, and it was a little cool that day, and we got it to about 170 miles an hour.
Wow, great.
170?
Yeah, 170 miles an hour.
Remember when we were coming back from Florida in the Magnum Lucky, and all of a sudden we looked down, we were doing like 120. We didn't even realize. I mean, it really goes fast. Like, you do nothing, and you're like, holy cow.
It's even worse with a supercharger on it.
Oh, does the speedometer go to 170?
Not
it goes
anymore.
to 180.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Were you thinking 10 more miles per hour?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
10 more. Let me peg it.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but we were running out of room, unfortunately.
If it wasn't for that mountain range.
Yeah. So you can see it.
Wow. That's got to be a pretty exciting experience to drive across the dirt like that, though.
It is. It's really freaky when you're driving because it looks like you're about to hit the mountain right away, but it's, you know, miles
really
and miles
far
away.
away.
It looks so close, but it's not. It's deceiving.
Well, it's time for us to call it a day, and we'll be in studio live for one more show a week from tonight. We got a great show planned to kick off the end of the year, and then it's time for us to get to work and get the race cars put back together, get all our technical stuff for the show together, and we'll be back February, the very first Tuesday. So, everybody, we'll see you next week. Alex, want to thank you for coming and being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I don't know if I should say this word, Lucky. Outtake.
We did. Well, come on, Bruce, bring it up. Let's see some of the, because Alex does a lot of easy detailing, and let's see some of the easy detailing videos.
5,
outtakes.
4.
Oh, they count you down here.
Yeah. Does it look bad?
Car with a lot more. By covering any open air.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the shortest take ever.
Sorry. The notch. A lot more miles and grime on it. Look at my hair. Now, we just showed you the easy detailing way to quickly make your engine compartment look great. Okay, should I okay, so just go.
Oh no!
Nothing out of
This is a great. Now we're going to rinse everything off. Do not use a.
4, 3. Cut.
Wow. Seriously, places it's not supposed to get into. Just use the slow flow from your hose. Rubber towel. If you have to dry it by hand, have extra towels ready. Dinner time.
Birds everywhere.
Try it again. In 5, 4, 3.
What the hell?
Somebody trained their bird.
What are the chances? Our last step is to put. I can't do this.
5, 4, 3.
Birds.
That's the trouble with filming outside.
Is there like
Year.
a pro or
And the
something?
easy detail method every few months or so. Let's take a good look at the before and after pictures. Damn it. Oh, that was so close.
Yep.
Okay, because my instinct is to frick.
Oh, man. Okay.
Take her away, Bruce. That was great.
And of course, go to EasyEleganceUSA.com and you can see it without the outtakes.
Oh, unbelievable. Good stuff. Thanks, Alex, for putting up with us for that final 3 minutes of
It
Speed
was
Team
my
Live.
pleasure.
Hey, Bob, good to see you in studio again.
We'll see you after the new year.
Dynamite, same thing.
Hey, good to be seen.
All right, see you guys next week.
Next week, Bruce. We'll see you then.
Cool deal. Coming up next, the encore presentation of the show. If you missed anything, check out the archives page as well. We updated every single Speed Scene Live night. And, of course, we're back 1 week from right now, right here at Speed Scene Live. Good night, everybody.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com.